He's the current face of America's team, and depending on who you ask, he's either the most underrated quarterback in the NFL or the biggest disappointment in Dallas Cowboys history. But one thing stands true: nobody can agree on Dak Prescott. Since 2016, he's been the topic of debate and the undeniable number one in Dallas, a fourth-round pick who wasn't expected to start, let alone become the franchise guy. He has the stats, he has the leadership, but when it matters most, in January, that's when the questions start. Today, I'll be breaking down why fans love Dak Prescott, why others can't stand him, and where I fall on the meter because, like it or not, Dak Prescott is always in the spotlight, and the debate around him isn't going away anytime soon. But before we can talk about that, we need to discuss Dak's rise from budding college star to controversial QB1 in the NFL. A three-star recruit out of Louisiana, Rain Dakota Prescott quickly became a star at Mississippi State, turning them into a legit national contender. After his stellar college career, he'd declare for the NFL draft. That's when the questions began. He had serious concerns about his footwork, throwing mechanics, and accuracy. Basically everything you don't want to question about a quarterback. Unfortunately, Dak was also arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol. This caused a lot of NFL teams to drop him further down their boards or even remove him entirely, labeling him as a problem rather than a young man who made a mistake. He'd fall all the way to the 4th round, where he was selected 135th overall by the Dallas Cowboys. Dak was never expected to become an immediate starter in Dallas, but after a shocking back injury knocked then-starter Tony Romo out for most of the season, he was immediately thrust into the starting lineup. Most people thought the season was already over, but Dak had other plans. He'd helped lead the Cowboys to a 13-3 record, the 1 seed in the NFC, and took home Rookie of the Year. When the playoffs arrived, he'd face his biggest challenge yet: Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Early on into the game, it looked like the moment might have been too big for the budding superstar. The Packers jumped out to a strong lead quickly, with the Cowboys struggling to get anything going. But Dak wasn't done just yet. He'd lead the Cowboys back with clutch throws, poise under pressure, and an eventual game-tying drive that had AT&T Stadium on fire.
Chance to win it. That is unbelievable. The first official came down the sideline and said incomplete.
A clip that still lives rent-free in Cowboys fans' minds to this day. And just like that, the Cowboys season was over. An electric first year with Dak at the helm kept doubters quiet, but not silent. It was Zeke. It was the offensive line. It was the system. People didn't see Dak as anything more than a game manager, let alone a guy who could help Dallas achieve the greatest prize of all. While Dak's rookie year was electric, the buzz didn't last forever. His play stayed solid, his numbers were there, but something changed. The hype started to fade, and the doubts crept back in. Was it the early playoff exit? Was it the lingering shadow of Tony Romo? Many people just weren't ready to buy in. Whatever the reason, the narrative had shifted, and the questions only grew louder. But Dak? He kept showing up, kept grinding, and for a lot of fans, that's exactly why they've stuck with him. While the critics kept talking, the reasons for Dak started speaking just as loud. On the field, it's not hard to see why fans ride for him. Dak's had seasons where he's thrown for nearly 5,000 yards, led one of the NFL's highest-scoring offenses, and delivered in countless high-pressure moments, from game-winning drives to improbable fourth-quarter comebacks. He's not flashy, he's not chasing highlight reels, he's just the guy who lines up, battles every down, and gives you a shot in the fourth quarter, no matter the score. In 2019, Dak had what many call his breakout year, where he threw for 4,902 yards, the second most in the entire league at the time, with 30 touchdowns and a 99.7 passer rating. Statistically, he was playing at an MVP level. And while the Cowboys finished just 8-8, the offense under Dak wasn't seen as the main problem. They were top 5 in yards per game, and Dak looked fully in command of the huddle. The season helped quiet the talk that he was just riding a strong run game or an elite O-line. He could sling it, he could keep up in shootouts, and he wasn't just a game manager. Fast forward to 2023, and he did it again. Coming off a season where he led the league in interceptions, all eyes were on Dak to see how he'd respond, and he answered loudly. Over 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, and some of the most efficient football of his career, finishing as a finalist for MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. His decision-making was sharper, his poise never wavered, and he helped Dallas secure a 12-5 record and another NFC East title. It was one of the best statistical seasons any Cowboys quarterback had ever had, and for many fans, it was a statement. Dak can play at an elite level. And even when things go sideways, whether it's a bad pick, a tough loss, or a disappointing end to a season, Dak never points fingers. He takes the heat, stands in front of the cameras, and shoulders the blame. That kind of accountability isn't just rare, it's respected, especially in Dallas and the NFL, where the media spotlight never turns off. But what truly separates Dak from a lot of players, and why many fans support him so passionately, goes beyond football. In 2013, Dak lost his mother Peggy to colon cancer, a loss he says deeply shaped his perspective on life and leadership. Then, in 2020, he lost his older brother Jace to suicide. That year, Dak opened up publicly about his battles with anxiety and depression, helping spark conversations around mental health in sports, something many athletes are still hesitant to address. His vulnerability and strength resonated with people far beyond football. Dak didn't have to share that, but he did. And it's part of what makes him so admired by those who do root for him. He's honest, he's present, he uses his platform for more than just himself. That same year, he helped launch the Faith Fight Finish Foundation to support families facing adversity, raise mental health awareness, and fight cancer, all inspired by challenges he's faced personally. In 2022, he was honored with the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, the league's highest recognition for character, service, and leadership off the field. So when you ask Dak supporters why they stand by him, it's not just about stats or wins. It's about the person, the guy who's had every reason to fold and keeps getting back up. The guy who's taken losses, criticism, personal tragedy, and somehow leads through all of it. To them, that's what a franchise quarterback is made of. But of course, for every fan that rides for Dak Prescott, there's another who's already jumped ship or never even got on board to begin with. Because for some people, stats and leadership don't matter if the wins don't come in January. And in Dak's case, that's where the frustration begins. The doubts that surfaced early on never really left, and every playoff stumble, every interception, every season that ends without a ring just adds more fuel to the fire. And for a lot of fans, this is where the conversation shifts. Because no matter how respected Dak is as a leader, or how consistent his numbers are in the regular season, there's one part of his resume that's hard to ignore: the postseason. He's currently 2-5 in the playoffs. And in a league where quarterbacks are often judged by what they do in January, that record has become a pretty big sticking point, especially for fans still waiting for that next Super Bowl run. The 2022 divisional round against the 49ers was one of the most frustrating moments for his critics. Dak threw 2 interceptions in a low-scoring game where every possession mattered, and the offense just couldn't find its rhythm. A final desperation drive ended with a now infamous quarterback slide where the clock ran out, and once again, Dallas was sent home early. Then came 2023. Heading into the playoffs, optimism was high. The Cowboys were 12-5, playing at home and favored against a young Packers team. But the result? A surprising and decisive loss, one where Dallas fell behind early and Dak threw 2 more interceptions, including a pick 6 that helped put the game out of reach before halftime. While he did throw 3 touchdowns in that game, many came during what was viewed as a futile comeback attempt, long after the outcome was essentially decided. And that's added to another common criticism, that Dak's stats, especially in losses, come in garbage time. Moments where the defense is playing softer, the game is already out of hands, and the numbers don't reflect the bigger picture. When those types of losses pile up, especially in the postseason, it raises questions, and some fans have started pointing to a pattern. Since 2016, almost everything around Dak has changed. Head coaches, offensive coordinators, wide receivers, even the defense. But the playoff results have stayed the same. For those fans, he feels like the constant, and that's where the criticism often takes root. His massive contract is also a part of the conversation too. Dak signed a 4-year, $160 million extension in 2021, a deal that placed him among the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. That kind of investment naturally comes with expectations, and while his regular season production often meets those expectations, some fans feel the postseason results haven't matched the price tag. Turnovers have also added to that perception. In 2022, Dak led the league in interceptions despite missing 5 games. While not all of them were solely on him, the numbers added fuel to the growing narrative that in big games, his mistakes can be costly. To be clear, this isn't about discounting Dak's character, effort, or leadership. Even his most vocal critics usually acknowledge those strengths. But some fans simply prioritize winning, particularly in the postseason, above everything else. And for them, the continued playoff struggles paired with a top-tier contract leave them questioning whether Dak can ever take the Cowboys to that next level. It's not personal for everyone. For some, it's just the reality of the position. Quarterbacks carry the weight. When the team falls short, fair or not, the finger often points their way. So, yeah, it's a lot. Dak's career feels like a roller coaster that never quite reaches the top, but it never fully crashes either. Alright, here's where I stand, and I'm fully aware that this might get me roasted in the comments. I've been a big Dak supporter since 2016, maybe even delusionally at times. I've defended him through slumps, picks, contract drama, you name it. And look, not every shortcoming is on him, but I'll admit he gets a lot more leeway from fans than most quarterbacks would, and sometimes he doesn't earn it. Dak is an awesome human being. But as a quarterback, he's kind of like your favorite fast food place. Solid, familiar, dependable, but probably not winning any awards anytime soon. I do think the hate goes too far sometimes. He's not the guy who's going to carry a broken team to a Super Bowl on his back, but how many guys in the league can? Patrick Mahomes? That's just about it. And let's not pretend life was better with Quincy Carter and Brandon Whedon under center. If you live through those years, you know the grass isn't always greener. Sometimes it's just filled with weeds and regret. The Dak discourse online is, it's, good lord, it's a lot. Like, really, open any post with his name and it's basically an old Modern Warfare lobby. But even with all the noise, the critics aren't totally wrong to ask if he can get it done when it really matters. That's the $1 million question, or I guess $160 million question. Personally, I just hope he can get it all together in January before his time in Dallas runs out. Because in Dallas, it's never just about making the playoffs, it's about winning it all. And for Dak Prescott, time is running out to prove he can. But what do you guys think about Dak Prescott? Do you guys think he's the right guy for Dallas to end their Super Bowl drought, or is he just extending their sadness? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, help me out by dropping a like and maybe subscribe for more content just like this.